Of the new Premier League, and this is the prediction show. We started off last week, and amazingly, I got 7 correct out of 10. Yes, you're quite right. I didn't get the scores exactly the same, but I actually predicted 7 games correctly. So how am I going to get on this week? Well, these matches are going to be played tomorrow, Sunday and Monday, August the 18th to the 20th. So let's get started. The early kick-off is Cardiff against Newcastle. I sense that Cardiff are going to struggle. And Newcastle were unlucky to lose to Spurs last week. So I'm going to go for a 2-1 win for the Newcastle. But congratulations to Ashley for buying the house of Fraser. I'm sure Benitez will be thrilled to know that Ashley hasn't got any money for players. Yedlin is a doubt. But anyway, 2-1 for Newcastle. Leicester against Wolves. I was impressed by Wolves in their draw last week, and I think they'll match Leicester as well, who looked a little sluggish against the Red Devils. I'm going for a 2-2 draw, and watch out for that Neves. Very impressed with him. Spurs against Fulham. Fulham newly promoted. They looked a little bit out of their depth last week, and I think they're going to struggle again. I'm going for Spurs 2-1, which probably flatters Fulham. Look to Kane to get on the score sheet. Mitrovic maybe to open the scoring for Fulham. West Ham against Bournemouth. Bournemouth were pretty impressive against a pretty poor Cardiff side, to be frank. And West Ham, well, they got absolutely hammered by the champions. I expect this game to go close. I'm going for another a 2-2 draw. How to continue with the momentum, and Pellegrini through Arnautovic to get started. Everton against Southampton. I predict Southampton to go down. So along with that, Marco Silva's Everton to win 3-1. And probably the match of the day, probably the match of the round, Chelsea at home to Arsenal. Chelsea mightily impressive against a pretty ropey Huddersfield side. They'll have to improve a little bit against the Gunners. I'm actually thinking that Arsenal will bounce back, and I'm going for a 2-2 draw. Maitland-Niles is out with a fracture. He limped off last week, as you may have noticed, against City. On to Sunday's matches. Brighton at home to United. Well, Brighton really disappointed me, and really these sort of games are the games that United and Mourinho should be winning with ease. So on that note, with the possibility that Lukaku and Lingard are back, I'm going for a United 3-1. Burnley against Watford. Now, Burnley are coming off that Europa League win against the Turks, and I think that they might be a little tired. Watford were quite good in their opening encounter, so I'm going for a 1-1. Then to the Etihad, Huddersfield already being tossed aside by Chelsea, aren't going to get much change out of Man City, and I see City cantering to a 4-1 win, even though they're without De Bruyne, who's got a knee injury. To Monday's match, this looks a promising fixture, and has in the past breed a lot of goals, and I think it will again. Crystal Palace are home to Liverpool. I'm going for Liverpool to edge it 3-2. after their impressive start at home last week. So that's my predictions for the fixtures this week, and of course there will be another video on Tuesday with all the results.